What's good, everybody? You're listening to the Glow Up Podcast. We are still a part of the Soundcasting Network here in South Lake Union. I'm Miss Casey Carter.
I'm Naomi Raven.
And we want to remind everybody to rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, everywhere you listen to podcasts at. Shout out to Podcast Month. We completed it. It was great to share all of the gems and tips that we did, and we're excited to be back this week with our guest, Miss Tara Jones-Williamson. You're pretty Pennies. We're excited to chat with her. But before we get into everything, we want to remind y'all to follow us at the Glow Up Cast, and then check us out at the Glow Gang Spotlight. If you want to feature your small business on our Glow Gang Spotlight, sign up in our link in bio.
And be sure to sign up for our email list so that you can see those spotlights and have access to exclusive discount and deals and just see some really bomb businesses that are around us,
Yes, we love that. We love when people send us their small businesses or like just their businesses or brands. Like this past week, we featured a media company, which is really dope.
Yes.
And then don't forget, we're on YouTube. So shout out to the people who are watching us right now. Yes. But again, we are with Miss Tara Jones-Williamson, financial coach for women. We're excited to chat with her. It's been like 2 weeks since we've had a guest. So I'm like, it's great. We get a guest back. So let's hop into our weekly wins and lessons. Naomi, do you want to go first?
Yes. So mine is a lesson. And it's that if you're going to push through major obstacles to reach your goal, you can't just want to get through it. Like you have to truly have a desire that sets your heart on fire, because sometimes wanting to do it isn't enough. You've really just you got to bite down like a pit bull and lock your jaw into whatever goal it is you're trying to reach so that you can truly get past those obstacles and enjoy the process.
Yep. I feel that. I feel that right now. My lesson this week is just really, really, it's a hard one. Rest in peace to PJ. He's a Seattle legend out here, Filipino guy, tattoos on his face, but flyest dresser in the world, and could walk into any room full of any kind of people and get along with everybody. And we lost him this week due to COVID. And Naomi, I don't know if you know a lot of people who knew him, but I mean, it's just beautiful, but yet sad to see how well loved and respected he was. I didn't get to go to the gathering they had for him, but just to see that many people out there from all walks of life to come together for one person, it's inspiring, because then you start thinking about your legacy. But then it's heartbreaking to lose somebody like that. So Seattle will not be the same without you, PJ. Rest in peace. I'm gonna miss running into you in these Seattle nightlife streets. But yes, much love to him and his family. And I'm gonna share his GoFundMe again on my socials, and make sure to donate, because he did leave behind 2 sons. So make sure to wear your mask, stay safe out there, and do your best to protect yourself. What about you, Tara? Any weekly wins or lessons for you? Am I saying that right? Tara or Tara?
Tara. Yeah.
Tara.
Okay, and it's totally fine, because everybody says both. It's kind of interchangeable where I'm from. So thank you so much for having me on. Weekly wins or lessons. I would say, and this is something I've been learning for the last few years. My husband in particularly is the one that emphasized how I can sometimes do this, but is not expect orange juice from apples. So basically, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't have any expectations for them that they did not agree to, because it ultimately leads to you being disappointed, not them. Right. So if an apple gives you apple juice, an orange gives you orange juice, do not expect apple juice from oranges. Do not expect orange juice from apples.
I love that. That's a great one. All right, let's hop into our vibe check. Is there anything you're currently vibing with, Tara?
I'm currently vibing with thrift shopping for home decor.
Ooh. Oh, I love that.
So usually I'm all about thrift shopping for vintage clothes and even contemporary clothes. I just love clothes and shoes and different things like that. I love shopping. And now that we've been in our home, my husband and I got married a little over a year ago. So we're in our home, and it's kind of like we're filling out the space. Where do the kids like to hang out? Where do we like to hang out? Like, you know, kind of trying to check the vibe of the house, right? And so now I'm starting to furnish the home. And so I'm really having fun with identifying, like, you know, my home decor style and really like developing my little home oasis, especially since, you know, during quarantine, we're at home a lot more. So I've been vibing with that this week.
I bet you're finding so many gems because it's like, I mean, you get one of a kind things when you go thrifting. So that's great. I'm a little inspired now. I might have to go to the local.
And that's the really cool thing, is to get these really, even a lot of stuff that you find will not be vintage. A lot of stuff you'll find from like West Elm, Pottery Barn, Crate and Barrel, things like that. But it'll be at thrift store prices, perfectly new. And you just saved a pretty penny. And a lot of that stuff you can still find in stores, and you can furnish your home with it. So it's pretty cool.
You know, people during quarantine, I'm sure everyone, like, home improvement is just at an all-time high. Everyone, remember Naomi last year when it was like a consistent week, everybody was like dealing with home stuff. So imagine all the people, especially like rich people, who are like getting rid of their stuff and then putting new stuff in their house.
Yep, and then we're just like, oh, thank you.
Yeah,
that put that artwork in my house. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, I like that. Thanks. That's a good. I like that one. I'm inspired. How about you, Naomi?
Yeah, so I've been on this thriller tip of shows and things, and so there is a show on Hulu called Cruel Summer, and it is good. I'm hooked because you really think you know what happens, but they write the storyline so well with the flashbacks and everything that you don't know who is lying. I hate that it's a week by week show because I like to binge things like that, so it's really hard for me to wait each week. But if you like thrillers and you like to think and figure things out, I think this is a really great show to tap into.
Okay.
Naomi, they've been pushing hard on Hulu on my account to get me to watch it, and I keep saying, "Oh, I'm not doing it right now. Not right now." I've actually been binge watching Queen Sugar, so I told myself I'll watch Cruel Summer after I finish the latest episodes. But
it's worth it.
I'm glad you said that.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you know, they be getting those shows where they just, because it's like, being 2021, everything's so predictable. The same story is always being told. So I love a story or a show where they make you think a little more.
Yeah, they switch it up.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And thanks for the reminder on Queen Sugar, because I need to watch that too.
Yes.
Well, I am vibing with, I don't know if you guys know who Justin LeBoy is. He's popular on social media, does all the memes, the toxic memes. He got his own show on Revolt, produced by Diddy's son, Justin. But his show is called Respectfully Justin. And a couple weeks ago, it went viral because of Saweetie was on there. But the City Girls just did an interview on there. And I loved it. It was it got me prepared, even though I'm about to get married. It got me prepared for City Girl, Hot Girl Summer. And it was just so cute. Young Miami and JT, they're just themselves. And I respect that. I love it. And they're just so funny. And Justin LeBoy is so toxic. And I like the questions he was asking because it was like a conversation you was listening to. So check that out if you're looking for some entertainment. Make sure no kids are around during this one, because it gets real ratchet and nasty, but it's very funny. And I think what Justin LeBoy and Diddy's son is doing is good. And it made me dive into more of the Revolt stuff on YouTube. And you guys know who Drewski is? He's hella funny. Oh my, so he got some shows on there too, and he's hella funny. Drewski got the best humor ever. So
I need this.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I need to get that.
Yeah, no, the one he did with Snoop, I watched last night. I was crying, and it's like 8 minutes. So make sure to check that out. All right,
and girl, I heard you say something about Hot Girl Summer. You can't have a Hot Girl Summer because you're engaged and about to be married. Girl, you better have a Hot Girl Summer with him.
And
it don't go away. It don't go away. Listen, I've been married a little over a year. That's why he's probably marrying you. So.
I know my friend. I said it to her, and I was like, we're going to Cabo for our bachelorette, and she was like, I want to be a hot girl. And I was like, we can do that in Cabo. She was like, okay, we can do that. City Girl Summer. All right. All right, let's hop into this quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, you guys, we are back and we are with Miss Tara Jones-Williamson of Your Pretty Pennies. We're so excited to talk to her about helping women live their best lives financially and all around. So, Tara, tell us about your background. Who were you growing up and like what did you want to be when you were growing up?
All right. So growing up, as far as I can remember, which was about 8 years old, is when I can start recollecting who I wanted to be, what I liked, what I loved, what I projected for myself. I wanted to be a veterinarian and a mom and a wife, right? Those are like my biggest things. I really wanted to help animals. And then as I started to get a little bit older, it really transitioned into, well, I want to help women. I really want to serve women. And so I want to be a dermatologist because back when I was growing up, all of the mainstream jobs is what was projected to you. And even my dad is like, oh, you're going to be a lawyer. You're going to be my doctor. You're going to be a veterinarian. He always told me I was going to be a doctor or veterinarian or something. Then one of those mainstream jobs. And so I went to college and with the idea of going to school for biology and graduated with my biology degree. But smack dab in the middle of my college career, I became a single mother. And brought her home with $0 in the bank. And so I went back to school. So not only did I study biology, I also studied finance. And so that's a little bit about me. I truly thought growing up, the only way to help people was to be in one of these mainstream professional roles. But as a financial success coach, I help women day in and day out on a daily basis. And it's so powerful, so rewarding. And so, yeah. So that's a little bit about me.
You bring up that you became a single mom and then you started studying finances. Was it because something was happening? Well, you said your bank account was looking a little
at zero, sis, like 0.00. And as like I said, when I was younger, growing up in a 2-parent household, and when I was younger, I always wanted to be the mother like my mom. I always wanted to be a wife. I always wanted to be the ambitious woman, professional woman, just like she was. So having a child outside of marriage and when I was 21 years old just seemed so off of the trajectory I thought for myself, right? Hindsight is 2020. And now I see like, man, I was powerful. I did it, whatever. But when you're smack dab in the middle of it and it wasn't planned, it just felt like your world was over. And so who would have known that situation would have placed me on the track to really live out my purpose and passion?
Yes. So you went to school, you were learning about finances, and learning about finances and actually taking care of your finances are two completely separate things in my mind because you can know what you need to do and then not do it. So what was that mindset switch like of like, okay, I've really got to get my life together so that I can help people and have proof in my pudding?
Yeah, so that's so funny you asked that, Naomi, because just like you said, when I started going back into these classes, we were learning about the stock market and supply versus demand. Keep in mind, these courses are saying personal finance. I'm like, okay, I need to learn how to get my life together. My parents never really taught me how to manage money. Like they manage money on their own. They really didn't pass down any financial information like most of our parents, unfortunately. But so I'm trying to gather information on how to get my life together, right? How to be able to take care of my child, how to be able to pay bills, pay off debt, all these different things that was happening in my life. And so you'll get into these classes in college and it'll teach about stock market, supply and demand, economics, global economics. It doesn't teach you about banking. It doesn't teach you about checking versus savings account. It don't teach you how to manage your taxes. It don't teach you how to manage money. It don't teach you how to budget. It don't teach you how to save. It don't teach you how to pay off debt. All these other things, right? So one thing that I always talk about is that I also self-studied during these 2 years. So I had her in July of 2009, and I still had about 2 years left of college in order to get my biology degree. So I told myself, I came up with a plan and said, I'm going to self-study along with those personal finance classes that are good for something. They just truly wasn't personal day-to-day personal finance, right? Mm-hmm. I really had to find people on the internet. And also at that time, it was really more books. It wasn't really like YouTube wasn't really popping like that, at least not for us. Blogging started to come around, but not really. And so it was a lot of books that I read. went to the public library, read a lot of books on becoming debt-free, paying off debt, building a business, financial wealth, passing down generational wealth, the things that I really needed to learn, how to pay off debt, how to stop impulsive spending, right? How to change your money mindset and your mindset around money. One of the strongest books that I ever read was The Richest Man in Babylon. Has any of you ever heard of that book?
No.
It's a really good book, and it's basically like a parable book where it's like set in an ancient time in Babylonia. And basically it was this guy who was getting all of this financial information from the people that came before him. And one of the biggest things that stuck out to me was this lesson about, or this principle about making your money your slave versus you being a slave for your money. So you look at your dollars as like soldiers going out to do what it is that you want to do. And so I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, I do need to manage my money in a way that my money works for me, not me working for it, even though I am earning money, right? So really just learning the principles on how to manage money to where it helps you really change the trajectory of my life. And so, you know, I graduated college with my daughter in tow, paid off right after that. During that time, I created a financial plan, kind of like hodgepodge, a financial plan from all these different books and sources and things like that, created something that would really work for me and will work like in the 2020s, like, or the 2019s, because a lot of that stuff I was reading was from like old school people who lived in a different time. And so I was able to, with the plan that I put together, was able to pay off over $60,000 in less than 2 years as a single mother with like no child support coming in.
Yeah.
Right.
First of all, kudos to you for even, you know, taking the initiative to learn yourself. I think so many of us, especially nowadays, we want that information quick, which is why you're so important, because we can pay you to teach us now all the things you did. But, you know, you being a mom and going to school and just having that financial burden, it's scary. It's a lot, but, you know, you pushed through. So how long have you been in business? Because you said it was like no YouTube and stuff. So how long has Your Pretty Pennies been in business?
Your Pretty Pennies launched in 2015. So September 2015.
Awesome.
And yep, I paid off my debt from 2012 to 2014. And yeah, I never looked back. Never looked back.
How did you come up with the name Your Pretty Pennies?
Actually, it's funny because I was thinking about when I even tried to start my business, it wasn't even going back to what we were just talking about. I thought I was still at this point was going to go use my biology, go to med school. I was still preparing for the medical track. And I, you know, was doing all these things in my finances, really seeing things transform. And so a lot of people, especially at my church and people that I knew from around the way, were asking me how to manage money in a different way. So I said, I'm going to create a blog, because blogging really start becoming popular. A friend of mine who I went to college with knew how to do graphic design work and knew how to create websites. So I said, hey, I'll pay you to create a website. So when I was leaving my job one day, she was like, hey, what do you want your website to be called? Like, what is your blog going to be called? And I was like, I don't know. And so then, like, literally, it takes me about 10 minutes. At that point, it took me about 10 minutes to go from my 9 to 5 to my house. And so I was driving. I hung up the phone with her. I said, I'll just email you a name when I come up with it. And when I was driving, I was like, okay, what do I want people to know? What do I want women to know? Like, what is it about me that stands out from other people who teach people about managing money? Well, I know how to manage money in a way to where I don't look frumpy. I can create the lifestyle that I desire. Like, I look good on the outside. I feel good on the inside while managing my money in a certain way and being financially disciplined. Okay, so I just put it all together, and it was just like, Your Pretty Pennies. Like, it just popped into my head. And so then I called her and said, hey, this is what it's going to cost. She was like, Your Pretty Pennies. I like that. I like that. And literally it was like divine download or something, because literally it took about 10 minutes for me to make up that name.
I love that. And you think about, like, you could save a pretty penny.
Pretty pennies, right? And there's so many different ways you can use that phrase, right? And so that's what I really love about it. And even on my platform, I talk about like how I started, my love of thrifting and how I started. It really didn't come out of, oh, I was poor, so I was thrifting at thrift stores. No, I just like pretty stuff and I like saving money. So whenever I think about, okay, what can I do to kind of feed this habit that I have of shopping, but allows me to really execute my financial goal in the process. Well, thrifting and shopping secondhand or on Pinterest, not on Pinterest, I'm sorry, Poshmark or something like that just kind of made sense.
Because it do.
Yeah.
So I want to ask real quick, do you strictly only coach women or is it open to everyone?
So it's open to everyone, but my brand is catered to women. Just because I know the language of women, I know what it's like to be a single woman in this world, whether you're professional or whether you're a single mom or whatever have you. I've been where you are, but obviously these financial principles can happen for everyone. I've coached men in the past. They've executed the plan and paid off $1,000 of debt, saved money in the bank, became debt free, became financially free. So, the financial principles are what they are. It'll work for each and every person, but I like to speak the language of fellow women out there.
Yes. And can I also ask, which one is a little bit easier to coach?
Men.
Oh.
Men are easier to coach because once, in my opinion, right. Once the thing is, women are easier to are more likely to ask for help. Meaning, I have more women on my coaching calendar at any given month of the year, right? However, when a man finally decides to reach out and ask for help, they're ready. A woman will ask for help and they will kind of like, well, I don't know, or I need, some people need more hand holding than others, So for me, if a man made up his mind to where he's going to reach out to somebody and tell them and be vulnerable about his financial situation, he's ready. He's ready. He's going to do the work. And for me, I'm about the outcome, like I said, not the income, meaning just because you've paid your deposit and got into coaching with me doesn't mean I don't want to see the results for you. Like, I'm more interested in you getting the results than I am for you paying me to coach you. Mm-hmm. So for me, the bigger wins comes from those clients who actually execute the financial plan that we create together for them.
So we've got coaching, we've got the ultimate financial planner, we've got your website, we've got social media. We have so many ways that you are helping people, specifically making their pennies pretty, but not just money. What are some other practices you are helping women do to live their best lives?
So here's the thing. Oftentimes, whenever I'm talking to a client or a woman, whether it's on social media and we're chatting in the DMs or whether it's like inside of coaching or whatever, because I'm like always accessible to my community. I call it the YPP community. I noticed that, yes, they will come to me for a financial question, but there's some other things in their life that need some help, some guidance, a little bit of advice around. And so that's the reason why the slogan has transformed from just talking about finances to really like taking a holistic approach to your life and saying, well, what can your money do to support all these other areas of your life? Oftentimes people are like, well, I want to become debt free. I want to pay off this car loan, or I want to buy a house. Well, why? Why do you want to do all those things? Or what is it that you want your money to do for you? Okay, you're debt free. Now what? Well, I don't know. But they can tell me what they don't want, right? They can't rattle off, well, I want to buy a home in the area that I desire. I want my credit score to be above 750 so I can get approved for a low interest rate. They can't rattle off the things that they want to do with their money, but they can tell me what they've done in the past, the things that they're ashamed of. They're living in the past. And so I really help women think about, what is the lifestyle that you desire? How can we use your income to create the lifestyle you desire? And that truly is what drives most people to doing some of those harder things and some of those long drawn out financial tasks, like paying off debt, like getting financially disciplined, like overcoming impulsive spending. It's really those thoughts of, okay, this is what my money is going to do for me in the future. So let me manage my money in the right way right now to where I can get to that point.
Come on, therapist.
Yes.
And again, asking that question why is just
why
so important.
And I always tell people, just ask yourself why 7 times to get really to the root of what you need, of what you're trying to do something for.
It's over. You just gave me a sign.
What we need to talk for, Casey? Why?
We'll have to talk about it off air, but my God, was that the sign?
Yes, universe.
Listen, Listen.
Oh my God. Okay, Naomi, go ahead.
The universe is always going to hold you down. Let's be clear.
That's too funny.
So I am in a place where I am focusing more intentionally on my money. And I'm curious, as you work with women, where do you see women specifically wasting their money most?
Where is women wasting their money most?
Mm-hmm.
I would say between food, number one, and housing.
And housing?
And housing.
So food, I
would say, okay, so here's my premise that I always say. If I ask you, Casey and Naomi, what are your financial goals? You're going to list off some stuff, right? Neither one of you, I guarantee, will say, I want to use 40% of my income to Uber Eats, to take out every night. I want to eat out with my girls every weekend. Like, you're just not going to say that. But yet that's where, if you break it down and you start to track your expenses and where you're spending your money, that's how we are spending our money.
When the sun was out 2 weeks ago, I swear to God, I was like, who am I by Sunday came? Because I was like, why am I out here just eating all this food and like buying drinks for people? Like,
because we associate spending with the good time. We associate spending with the summer, a hot girl summer, city girl summer, right? Let's go blow a check. Let's go blow a bag. I got some money in my bank account. Let's go out to eat. Let's go to drinks. Let's go to a day party, right? Yet our financial goals are on the back burner, right? And the same thing goes for housing. The moment we get some money, especially as professional women or women who are entrepreneurs or making their own money, we want to increase the lifestyle just as much as we increase our income. So as soon as we get a little bit of income and increase in income, we increase our monthly expenses, our housing expenses. We get the higher price point rent. We get the mortgage, we get the car, we get all these things that's inside of our home. And it's like, no. You just increased your income. You stay where you are. Use that income to truly do what you want to do, whether that's pay off debt, whether it is to buy a car, whether it is to put a down payment on a new home, whatever you're doing, be intentional. Think about it, because guarantee you, nobody is saying, you know what, my financial goal is to spend 50 to 60% of my income on rent and utilities. Nobody is saying that, but yet that's what we're doing.
I love that approach and that reality. So
I would say reality check.
Yeah. Now you were able to identify the problem that you were in, and then you were able to get yourself out of $60,000 worth of debt. Congratulations on that again. And now you're maintaining that, which I think, financial goal, weight goal, whatever goal, it's like we see the problem, we beat the goal, and then it is you can fall off. So we want to ask you for 3 tips on maintaining a positive financial mindset.
Okay, so let me just premise by saying, listen, this game never stops. The financial discipline that you develop, like you were just talking about in any area, whether it's weight loss or not going back to that toxic relationship, you finally got out and you don't want to go back. Like, all these things are a slippery slope, right? And so for me, as a financial success coach, I am also a spender by nature. There's some people who are more disciplined and they're more savers, and there's some people who are spenders, right? And either one can stop you and hinder you from your financial goal, right? Because some people can save, but never pay off debt, never buy the house that they want, never create the lifestyle that they desire, because they are just trying to save it and hoard it with the expectation of something terrible happening to them, right? And the other side is true, where you could be like how I was, where you could rack up a lot of debt and student loans, auto loans, car loan, rent, all these different things, all these different expenses coming out to where you don't even have any income left once you get paid to actually get ahead in life, right? So either one can happen. So once you identify which one you are, 3 tips on being financially disciplined and maintaining that mindset. Number 1 is create a personal vision statement. One thing I always say, especially to women, is think about where you want to be next year. Write it in present tense. So like, what do you want to look like? Where do you want to live? Where you want to be working? All these different things, because, finances is just one portion of our life, but it supports so many areas of our life. Like, we live in a world where the main currency of doing business, of moving and shaking, is to have money. You want a car to go to work, you need money to put gas in it, you need money to maintain it, right? You want to move to the side of town that you want to live in, you need money for a down payment, right? You need money to get a rental investment, right? Or get a rental property, whatever it is that you want to do. Create a personal vision statement, write it down, and read it every day so you can start becoming that woman and also managing your money like that person that you're writing in present tense, right? So again, you're looking at yourself and saying, this is where I want to be 12 months from now. Write it in present tense. Post it in your bathroom. Post it somewhere to where you step into that person each and every day, so you can really manifest that ability to be that person within 12 months or less. And you're managing you're managing your money in a way that that person manages their lifestyle, right? That's the biggest key. Number 2 is realize that everything and everyone is competing for your money, right? So set a financial goal. Set a financial goal, what is it, to pay off debt? Is it put money in savings if you don't have an emergency fund? Like I said, if you want to pay for a new car in cash, if you want to get your car repaired, if you want to get your first home, if you want to start investing in the stock market, I don't care what it is. Have a financial goal in front of you, because guess what? Whenever you get on Instagram, whenever you get on any platform, whenever you go out into the world, if you turn on Hulu or Netflix, I swear, my husband pays for the premium version of Hulu that says you're not supposed to get no ads, and we still get ads, right? They coming for your coin. Like, there's people competing for your income. And so are you going to use your income to create the lifestyle you desire? Or are you going to use your income and be succumb to all these ads and all these other things and build somebody else's empire and create the lifestyle that they desire? So which one are you going to do, right? And then the third thing is to track your expenses. One thing I talk about, like, get to know yourself. One thing I tell women inside of my coaching practice, I'm like, okay, so let's decide if you should be managing your money on Fridays or on Mondays, because there's some of us who they get paid on Thursday or Friday, or pay themselves from their business on Thursday and Friday, and by Sunday it's gone, because the weekend is for spending money to them. Turn up, hot girl, city girl summer. Like, let's go out to eat. Let's go to brunch. Let's go shopping. Hey, mom, for my mom, when we hang out, she likes to go shopping, right? I had to help her reassociate our time together with not spending so much money, right? But then there's some of us who are like, I don't really go out on the weekends. I like to chill and binge watch Netflix. So you're at home, but during the week, you spend out of convenience. So you spend a ton of money on food and eating out and fast food and ordering in and dining in. And that's where all your money is going, right? So all the money that you could be using to pay off debt, that you could be building wealth with, that you could be doing all these things with. So identify, do you need to check in with your money goals on Monday so you don't spend your money throughout the week on food and take out of convenience? Or do you need to check in on Friday to remind yourself that, yes, it's hot girl summer, it's city girl summer, but we're not spending all of our money. You got this amount of money that you set aside already to go out to eat or to go to wherever you're going. And then that's it. Once it's over, that's it.
I love those tips. I need to apply. I mean, I already got over here, I got my budgets and stuff. So we plan for the whole summer already.
Listen.
So I'm taking that step. Thank you so much, Tara. Like, oh my God, this is perfect moving into a new season.
Yes.
Because now I want to discipline myself. And again, like how I said last week, the sun was out, so I was out. And budgeting and making sure that I have my stuff together beforehand is always just it's gonna try and help me resist.
Because it's gonna feel good. Like, Casey's, to my free spirits who are listening, I know some of y'all, guys and girls, men and women, non-binary, whatever you call yourself, we know y'all all listen to the podcast, right? And I know some of y'all are free spirits. And y'all gonna be like, well, I don't feel like making no budget. I don't like doing that. I just like to feel my way through. There's I was like that. Listen, if I wanted it, I got it. I really didn't care about what was in my bank account, how much debt I had to my name, right? So that's why by the time I was 21, I had a mess to clean up, right? Because I wasn't taught financial discipline in a way that made sense to me. But here's how to reframe that. If you're feeling some type of resistance to, quote unquote, the term financial discipline, why not look at it as, no, I'm spending my money in a way that's creating a lifestyle that I desire. Don't look at it in a way of what I can't do. Look at it in a way of, this is what I want my money to do for me. Going back to that book, The Richest Man in Babylon, you get to decide. Whenever you create a budget, you get to decide how much you're putting towards home decor, how much you're putting towards paying your car off, how much you're putting towards this investment, how much you're putting towards reinvestment into your business. You get to decide. But just remember, if I stumble across you, if we hanging out one day and I stumble across you and ask you what your financial goals are, and you start listing off some things that you're not using your money to manifest, I'm gonna be like, well, do you really want that? Is that really a goal for you, right? If you're saying you want a new home, but Uber Eats got all your extra home money, right? Or you saying, you want to invest in your business and grow your business and scale your business and use your income from your 9 to 5 to grow your business. But every time you get a check, you're loaning money, or you're going out to eat, or you're hanging out with friends, or whatever the case is. Then I'm like, okay, are you really that committed to that? Use your income to create your lifestyle desire, the lifestyle you desire. Don't look at it as being restricted. Don't look at it as, oh, I can't do something. Look at it as, this is my money. It came in and this is what I want it to do for me, period.
Girl, I feel
there
guilty.
We go. And that's that. Tara, where can people keep up with you and also possibly take some consulting with you or get your journal, all that stuff?
Okay, so I'm everywhere on these internet streets at Your Pretty Pennies, just how it sounds, YOURPRETTYPENNIES. My website as well. So on my website, you will see in the navigation menu, I have a financial course called the Financial Reset, which was the plan that I used to pay off over $60,000 in debt as a single mom. So that was the plan that I had put in place those years ago, and it still works. It works for many people. If you want to do coaching, there's a tab on my Your Pretty Pennies website as well, and you can just fill out a brief questionnaire. I just ask you a few questions to see if we're a good fit, and then you can submit that and you'll get a call from me. But on social media, especially on Instagram and Facebook, I do these abundance affirmation posts. So if you haven't checked those out, look at them, save them, write them down, post them in your house. I am a huge fan of abundance affirmations and really affirming myself that I can manage money well. I can bring in large amounts of money. I can build my business. I can build wealth, especially since we come from especially all of us, we come from certain demographics to where that was not a standard for us. And so we need to affirm ourselves like, hey, it's a new day. The wealth transfer is happening. There's more minorities getting to the bag and getting bigger bags on a daily basis. But it's one thing to get the bag. It's a whole nother thing to keep it and manage it and build it and make it work for you, right? And so those affirmation posts are so personal to me, but I like to share them on my Instagram to help you guys out as well.
I love that. We cannot have enough more women on this show who talk about money. So thank you so much for joining us. And y'all make sure to follow her and keep up with all the things that she has going on. Follow us at the Glow Up Cast, rate, review, and subscribe to us. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your reviews, all that stuff. Sign up for the Glow Gang Spotlight. Discounts.
Yes.
What else?
Don't forget to get on the email list for the discounts.
The email list is lit. I'm on the email list. It's absolutely lit. So I love seeing the spotlights.
Yes. And YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. All right. All right, you guys. I'm Miss Casey Carter.
I'm Naomi Raven.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.